Hey everybody! Welcome to the first episode of Bowl Full of Brassicas. My name's Courtney. I'm a science educator with The Ohio State University. I work with the Arabidopsis Biological Resource Center and the Center for Applied Plant Sciences. And today I want to talk to you about vegetables. Now, whether you love them or hate them, you have to admit that vegetables are an important part of a healthy diet. But have you ever stopped to wonder where the vegetables you eat come from? And why we have so many different varieties to choose from? Now, today I want to talk about one group of vegetables that I think will surprise you. Just like animals, plants are organized into families. The family of plants that we're going to talk about today is called Brassicaceae, or the Brassica family. There's a lot of well-known plants in the Brassica family, but today we're going to talk about just one species, and that's Brassica Oloracia. Now, I am sure you're all hoping to have a big bowl of Brassica Oloracia for dinner tonight, right? Do you even know if you like Brassica Oloracia? Let's find out. Let me introduce you to Brassica Oloracia. Perhaps cauliflower is not your favorite, so I can also introduce you to Brassica Oloracia or Brassica Oloracia. In fact, everything you see in front of me here is Brassica Oloracia. You might be asking yourself how one species of plant can produce so many different vegetables. And the answer to that is artificial selection. Now we're going to get to that in just a moment, but first, let's look at what Brassica Oloracia looks like when it's growing wild and free. So wild Brassica Oloracia is also known as wild cabbage. It's a weedy looking plant that grows naturally in coastal and western parts of Europe. People have been eating the leaves of wild cabbage for centuries, but it doesn't really look like the Brassica Oloracia that you're going to see at your local grocery store. The Brassica Oloracia that we eat today is a product of generations of artificial selection. So, what is artificial selection? Imagine centuries ago that people started to notice small differences between individual or groups of Brassica Oloracia plants. Maybe one group of plants grew faster than all the others. Perhaps another plant had larger leaves that tasted better than the others. And farmers took note of those traits and would select the plants that they were interested in to plant on their farms. They would collect the seeds from those plants and use them to create the next generation of crops. And from those crops, they would select the ones that had the best traits for the next generation of crops. And so as that happens, generation after generation after generation, you end up with different cultivars, which are different varieties of the same species of plant. So cauliflower and cabbage, broccoli and kohlrabi, collard greens, kale, Brussels sprouts, and there's others, are all different cultivars of Brassica Oloracia. Now, some of them look pretty similar, like the collards and the kale. It's not too much of a stretch of the imagination to think that those two come from the same species, but others look very different, like the Brussels sprouts and the kohlrabi. So it's not necessarily obvious that those are the same species of plant. Be sure to tune in to episode 2 of Bowl Full of Brassicas. We're going to take a deep dive into exactly what traits were selected for that resulted in all of these different Brassica Oloracia cultivars. So until then, keep eating your brassicas and we'll see you next time.